Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
The Minnesota Department of Public Safety issued a statewide alert today regarding a recent string of heroin deaths. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. 3 people recently died in Fargo, and now Minnesota officials are reporting 7 deaths and more than a dozen overdoses in recent weeks. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson has the latest warnings from state officials in Bemidji.
Bemidji recently reported 1 death and 3 others hospitalized with heroin overdoses. Now officials say there have been 7 deaths statewide and more than a dozen other overdoses across north central Minnesota, including the towns of Cass Lake, Detroit Lakes, and Dilworth.
We're here today because people are dying, and we need your help to try and stop it. Over the past few weeks, several northern Minnesota communities have seen suspected cluster heroin overdoses.
Officials from several agencies gathered to spread the warning that heroin in the area is laced with other dangerous narcotics.
This terrible epidemic, I guess I'd call it, that's struck the Beltrami County area and the region, and we need some help from the public to address this.
James Madigan works with teen addicts. He says only 4% of them were heroin users in 2010, but that percentage has skyrocketed.
30% of them are in there for heroin use. You know, the numbers don't lie. You know, something is definitely changing.
We have to come together to report the drugs on the street so we can get them out of the hands of the dealers. If you or a loved one is facing the addiction, such as Teen Challenge is a program that you need to get your family member, your loved one, or you into that program.
Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Over at Cass Lake, the Leech Lake tribe built a full-time heroin and opioid treatment center last fall that currently works with 100 people a month. We're keeping our eye on some winter weather that looks to be moving into our region overnight. Let's get the latest on that from Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. As we take a gander at that satellite and radar composite, there are some showers to the west of Fargo, just hit and miss sprinkles of rain, really, but the heavy snow still focused off to the east, spreading from Duluth through Baudette and Roseau counties. We have some bands of light snow. Throughout the last 8 to 12 hours, that snow has been circulating with amounts near the North Shore in the Grand Marais area, upwards of 8.5 inches of reported snowfall. This will continue to move easterly, and our easternmost counties will suffer the consequences of some pretty vigorous winter weather over the next 12 to 24 hours. This evening in Fargo-Moorhead, expect temperatures in the mid-40s to low 40s. It will remain gusty as well. Cloudy skies will take hold, and overnight we'll have a chance for some snow moving in for your morning commute. Some areas could have some slippery roads. Keep that in mind. I'll have hour-by-hour details on how much snow we're expecting and how long it to last. But as you can see, a winter storm warning is in effect for the Arrowhead of Minnesota. A couple of our areas have winter weather advisories, including the Bemidji area, as well as up by Roseau and Moore Road.
Okay, thanks, Hutch.
You're welcome.
You may have walked outside in the Fargo-Moorhead area the last few days and asked yourself, what is that smell? We checked with the West Fargo Sanitation Department, and they say their sewage treatment lagoons are pretty ripe. The ice recently melted from the surface of these large ponds, meaning it's emitting gas that the wind is carrying right into town. And it's something that happens every spring.
But it's such a heavy gas that it sticks to the ground and it's everywhere. You know, you smell it in buildings and stuff. It seems like it's kind of hard to get away from.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, hear from people living near the lagoons about what they experience every time springtime rolls around. A temporary setback for some drivers when a rollover shut down part of Interstate 94. The semi rolled just after noon near Barnesville. We're told the driver of the semi is okay. The Minnesota State Patrol says it's a good reminder to always stay alert when behind the wheel.
A reminder for anybody traveling along the roadways, a hazard or another issue can present itself at any time. That's just why it's so important for each and every one of us to pay attention at all times when traveling down the roadway.
The crash is still under investigation, but officials believe distracted driving was a factor. The Fargo Police Department would like to calm the public's nerves after reports of gunshots or explosions on the north side of the city. According to a Facebook post from police, the noise is coming from American Crystal Sugar in Moorhead. The company is using noisemakers to scare geese away from the beet piles, and police say there is no cause for concern. A proposed ballot measure in North Dakota is looking to raise taxes on cigarettes and tobacco products by more than $1 a pack. Raise It for Health North Dakota coalition members submitted a petition to the North Dakota Secretary of State's office this morning. They'll need more than 13,000 signatures to get the measure on the November 8th ballot. The group is proposing to increase the tax on cigarettes from 44 cents per pack to $2.20 per pack. The tax would apply to all tobacco products, including liquid nicotine used for e-cigarettes and vaping. The last time North Dakota tobacco taxes were increased was in 1993. Minnesota's tobacco tax went up 12 cents at the first of the year. Every pack sold across the river now includes a $3.50 tax. Today, President Obama revealed his choice to become the next justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. He is Chief Judge Merrick Garland of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, sometimes known as the second highest court in the land. While some say his nomination is setting the stage for a huge constitutional showdown, Senate Republicans say there will not be a showdown because they will not allow a hearing, let alone a confirmation vote. Brian Moore has the story from Washington.
Today, President Obama nominated D.C.'s Chief Appeals Court Judge Merrick Garland to fill the vacant seat on the U.S. Supreme Court.
To find someone who just about everyone not only respects but genuinely likes, that is rare.
Harvard-educated, male and white, Garland doesn't check diversity boxes, but he's seen as middle of the road, confirmed to his current job with bipartisan support.
He's an incredibly well-known figure in Washington legal circles, admired from the left and the right.
And that pressures GOP leaders to reconsider their refusal to even hold a hearing.
It seems clear that President Obama made this nomination not with the intent of seeing the nominee confirmed, but in order to politicize it for purposes of the election.
The death last month of conservative Justice Antonin Scalia left the High Court's balance of power up for grabs, and Republicans want a Republican president to fill that seat.
This president will not fill this vacancy.
Garland, a former federal prosecutor who took a leading role in the Oklahoma City bombing investigation, promised to rise above partisanship.
People must be confident that a judge's decisions are determined by the law and only the law.
But in this election year, even Republicans and Democrats can agree on one thing: everything's political. Brian Moore, NBC News, Washington.
For Republicans, blocking the nomination is a calculated risk that could backfire at the ballot box, especially if a Democrat wins the White House. It's a potentially life-saving message from the Minnesota State Patrol. Don't rely on the luck of the Irish to get home safely this St. Patrick's Day. Sergeant Jesse Grabo says if you're going out, plan ahead.
You're going to go out and celebrate, just be smart about it. I think that's the biggest thing to take away. I mean, plan ahead, have a designated driver, and really have that backup plan in case that initial plan falls through. Life is really all about plan B.
There will be extra patrols out tomorrow night. Sergeant Grabo adds it's not about the number of arrests they make, it's about DWI prevention. You can bet this is a day a young driver won't soon forget. She got a ticket for failure to have a vehicle under control after driving an SUV into the YMCA Early Learning Center in South Fargo. No one was hurt, but there is damage to the building. It's at 42nd Avenue and 38th Street Southwest. A brick wall is pushed in, windows broken, an air conditioner smashed. A center spokesperson tells us there were 16 4- and 5-year-olds in the classroom when the crash happened. She says some of the kids were a bit shaken by the experience. All the parents were notified about what happened. The 15-year-old driver, who was with her dad when the crash happened, said she mixed up the accelerator and the brake pedals. From education about a career choice to a cooking class, it's all offered for adults through Moorhead Community Education. Nearly 10,000 adults a year register to take courses. Some of the classes include pasta making, financial investments, and gardening. Courses are taught by professionals from the field.
It's phenomenal. The learners the teachers that we have, it's incredible. They have national reputations often. They're experts in their field, and they're just passionate about their topic, and they want to share it with other people.
Registration is taking place now, and you can still sign up until the day of the class. And remember to